excited because today we're gonna be doing some pantry organization. I have all new containers and I have labels. I've been playing around with labels, like trying to figure out a font that I want to use to label everything. Today's video is sponsored by Cricut, so I will play around and show you how to make these labels a little bit later. But I have all new storage containers that I did just wash, so they're all drying. These are still a little bit wet. I don't want to be putting food into them while they're still wet, but here is the box that they came in. I bought them off Amazon. They are a set of 16, so there's 4 different sizes and 4 of each. I still have one packet over there that didn't fit in the dishwasher. The one thing that I really like about this set, and it's just like a visually satisfying thing to me, is that you can stack them and they all kind of end up being like the same height. This is the tall one. If you put a little one on the medium one here, it ends up being the same height as the tall one. I love that. I love that when all the containers just fit and Tetris together. It just makes my soul happy. I also have a bunch of these clear containers I got from the dollar store. I did show this in a video the other week and I made the mistake of not really counting and taking a look at all the stuff in my drawer that I need. So we may end up back at the dollar store today to get more containers. And then the other thing that I got are these salt and pepper shakers. I also got these off Amazon. I'll have them linked down below. I need to show you my absolute disaster of a pantry drawer. So I have all of my food in a drawer that's like under this part of my kitchen bench. I do have a door and shelf section down the end of my kitchen, but I don't really know if I want to have everything on shelves or whether I like the drawer. I kind of like the drawer. So today when I'm making my labels, I'm actually going to make 2. I'm going to make one for the front of the container and one for the lid, which is also why, to be nice and practical, I wanted to get lids that were clear so I could see what was in the containers from above if I decided to keep all my organization and pantry stuff in the drawer. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the drawer. It's a complete disaster. I have 2 drawers at the end of my kitchen island. It is this top drawer that lives all of my food. And as you can see, it is a complete disaster. So we need to start figuring out what I have, what labels I need to write, and I don't know, just hopefully by the time we finish this video, this will just be all super visually appealing and it will just look amazing. Kind of got a rough idea of what I need to do. These bigger bags over the back here are definitely going to be for the largest containers. This one, this large one, like the rice, it's definitely going to fit in this large one. I also have so many snacks. My mom went a little crazy after she watched us having a discussion on Instagram. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but we were having a discussion on Instagram. I was getting all of you guys to tell me what kind of stuff I should get my mom to put into a care package. She must have watched my stories because I didn't ask for any of this, but she gave me lots of lollies and snacks and things. So that's why I have all of these like pizza shapes and barbecue shapes. Oh, she said the cheese ones. I really like the cheese ones too. She also gave me some tiny teddies. And this one is fruit salad soft jellies from the Natural Confectionery Company. And I'm going to eat one right now. Let's eat an orange one because they're delicious. This was a really bad idea. I feel like I'm probably gonna end up eating the whole packet. No, I can't do that. I've made a start. I've put my spices and seasonings into these glass jars from the dollar store. And I know that the glass jars are really big, but there's a reason I'm doing that. And that's because here, to buy a spice shaker thing like this, they're really expensive. Your basic spices, just like your everyday little ones, they can be $7 to $10. In Australia, they're like $2. But here, it's very expensive. It's much cheaper to buy it in a packet, but the thing about a packet, it's a very large quantity. So I figured I could just put the very large quantities into these containers and I'll show you what I mean. Up here on my kitchen shelf, I have cumin, paprika, and chili flakes. It was cheaper to buy a packet than it was to buy a shaker. So I just thought that this would be a good way to store all of my spices. Okay, I've made some progress. I've got almonds and baking powder in these 2 little ones. And then this is what I was talking about with the spices, right? So this is my little cinnamon pack, and it is a really large amount of cinnamon. Making more progress, starting to look good. I have a snack container that has some snakes and those jellies that I was eating. I've put the lid on it because I can't keep snacking on them. It's bad. And I just came to the realization that it didn't really matter if the lids were clear or not, because if I'm putting labels on them, then you see them anyway. So yeah, didn't need to have it clear. But anyways, I'm really loving how these look. I think they're just so pretty, especially the colors of the spices as well. I think it's such a nice color combination. I just love color coordinating things, right? Like orange through to yellow through to green. It makes me very happy. I really should put some of these bigger ones into containers, and then I might start making some labels. We've already had an accident. Like, I knew I was gonna be making a bit of a mess today, but I now have soba noodles all over the floor and all over the bench. Yay. I've also just been throwing my empty packets on the ground because I'm gonna need to do a rubbish and recycling run after this. But yay for mess. We're off to a solid start. I had to watch a YouTube video about how to get the lid off the pepper grinder. Yeah, almost wasn't gonna make it. The video I watched said that you had to wet it, like wet the plastic to soften it up, and that would ruin all of the pepper. And I was like, no, but I did it. Most stuff is into containers and it's looking so much better. I'm gonna start on the labels because I think that's probably the most exciting part, honestly. It's label making time. I have my little label making station all set up over here. This here is the Cricut Explorer 3 machine. I have all of my little tools up here in the side. This part here is the blade. And as I was saying, I did test out some different fonts the other day and made little decal stickers. And you can see this matches here because these are all the different fonts that I was testing out. This here is the Cricut app, and this is the program that you can use to create any of your designs and have them cut with this machine. I've decided to make my labels black. I was thinking white, but I think black will stand out more. So this here is the Smart Vinyl from Cricut, and it's just a sheet of it. I do have rolls of it as well, but basically you just slide it into the machine here and it goes into these little notches. This is the little cutting tool, and the computer is going to tell this machine what to do, and it will accurately cut out all of the text for my labels, which I'm very excited about. And then put it on the transfer tape, and then we cut out the transfer tape, and then we transfer it to the container. So simple process, also very exciting because I love to get all creative and do these kinds of things. So I need to get in and type up all of the different products that I am about to, I guess, make stickers and labels for. As I was saying, this is the Cricut app. This is where you can work on all of your designs to then have them cut. So I am going to go over here and grab some text, and you know what, let's just go with oats straight up. And I did end up deciding on this one here, which is called Fiona, and I actually purchased this font last year to be able to use across my social media accounts, and I love this. So you may have seen this font across my channel. I think the name on my YouTube banner is in this font, and I just really like it, all lowercase. So that's what I'm gonna do. So now I just have to go up here and I can type in Fiona, which is the font that I love. And there we go. And there's my little oats. And then the best part too is when you resize, it actually tells you in centimeters what size this is gonna be when it gets cut out. So that's something I also need to do. I need to grab my ruler and actually figure out how big I want my labels to be. I think I'm just gonna have the text fit inside this weird shape, whatever this is. So it's gonna be a maximum of about, what, 6.5 centimeters? So we're probably looking about 6 centimeters as a max. And then for these ones, I wonder what this is. The lid is about 8.5. So maybe we go 7.5 as a max size. So 7.5, and then what did we say for this one? 6. So 6 and 7.5. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the longest word and make that the 6 or the 7.5, and then whatever size font that is, all of them can be that size, and then it'll work out, okay? This may not make much sense right now, but I swear it will. Okay, what I was trying to say is I'm gonna take the longest word, which I think is, say, cinnamon for the little ones, and it's currently sitting at at 10.532 centimeters, and I want it to be a maximum of 7.5. So if I take that to, okay, let's just say 7.4, and then up here it tells you that the font size is 62.29. So then I can make these ones all the same. Copy, paste, and then that way they'll all be the same font size, but they'll also all fit onto the top of the containers. I think I have all of the words that I want. As you can see, it's not very neatly organized on my desktop, but that's actually totally fine because the computer can figure out all of the words and it will align them for you. I guess that's so it can organize it all and use as little amount of the paper as possible. So we're just thinking at the moment. I'm gonna put my paper into the machine. Asking me how to load my materials. I'm going without a map because this is for the Cricut Smart Materials only, and we're using Smart Vinyl. So as you can see, it's kind of aligned it all as it thinks it should, and it will give you the size. My material must be 15 centimeters in length. So this here is the length, and it is more than 15 centimeters, so we're probably only gonna use about this much. We're selecting the Smart Vinyl Removable, Default, the tools. No tool required in clamp A. We've got to have the tool loaded into B, which we do. This is B, this is A. We're all set and good to go. And to do that, we press this button here to load the material. You can kind of see that it's all done. I also have this Cricut cutting little doohickey, so I am going to put this in here and cut off the section that we have cut into, because then that way it'll have a nice straight line for the next project that I want to do. First label is done. I decided to do them on the side, like the thicker side rather than the thinner side of the containers, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I like it. I don't know, now I'm seeing the font up here. I'm not 100% sure if this was the font to go with, but it doesn't matter because if I hate it, I can always change it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going and putting the labels onto the rest of these guys. So what I did was I removed all of the negative vinyl and then placed it onto the transfer tape, which made it easy to keep all of the letters aligned, and then transferred it on to the container. This is seriously such a relaxing activity. You guys know how much I love my creative activities. This is really, really fun. And this machine in particular cuts a range of different materials, from vinyl to paper if you're into scrapbooking, to iron-on fabric, so you could make t-shirts or create other images and press them onto other fabrics. It also works on cork and glittery materials as well. I'm gonna have so much fun decorating for Halloween, I swear. I'm thinking I'm going to use some of this black vinyl to create stickers for Halloween and make little bats and just run bats across my kitchen cupboards, because this vinyl will peel off without leaving a sticky residue. I showed you how it can cut the vinyl, but it also has the ability to draw, and it can score using a scoring stylus. There's so many different activities that I can now do. I am so excited to just, you know, sit down and spend my afternoon working on these little labels. If you've been following me for a while, then you'll know a couple of things about me. One, I love having just like a little creative outlet, and I need some sort of hands-on creative project at all times to be working on just as my downtime, which is why I have a lot of those paint by numbers. But this machine, ooh, I'm gonna be doing so much DIY home decor. I feel that this machine is really good for this time of the year. It can also do, like, you know, if you want to make your own Christmas cards or birthday cards, all of those kinds of fun things. And the other thing that you would know about me is that I love when things are just neat and organized, but when things are also aesthetically pleasing and just they look good and they're color coded. I call it stylized functionality. It is like my motto. It's where things are stylish, but they're also functional at the same time. It's my favorite thing in the world, which is what I love about this little project, is because it just makes sense. I like it when things make sense as well, by the way. It makes sense, like everything's gonna be neat and organized, but it's also gonna look really pretty. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit down and enjoy my afternoon. At the moment, I'm taking the negative space off all of the little words, and then I will move them onto the transfer paper, but I will check back in with you. I'll show you all of my little containers and everything that I've achieved. I thought I would just try doing the whole chunk, and I forgot that the little word oat was in there, and I've decided to ditch doing the little ones just because they're so tiny and I do not have the patience today to do the tiny ones. So I'm just gonna work on the bigger ones and get those onto the containers. Okay, everything is labeled. I'm not quite sure about this font and the size of it. I'm gonna think about it. Maybe I'll change it. But I am pretty much done with most of the stuff that I use regularly. I definitely need to get some more hemp seeds, but it's looking really good. I didn't do the top labels because I said that they were very tiny and very intricate, and I wasn't feeling like it today, so I think I might leave that for another day. But now I'm starting to think that maybe I want smaller labels on the sides of my containers, like small, like the other little ones that I did. So I might even switch it and put those on the sides instead of the top. But I need to put these away into the drawers, and then I'll do a bit of like a pantry tour because I've got food everywhere. The only thing that I didn't really do is a lot of this stuff because it's not the stuff that I would normally have in my cupboard. I only have it because my mom sent it to me, and I was thinking that I'll probably, you know, get rid of some of these snakes and lollies and whatnot at my Halloween party, which will be a good way to get rid of them because I'm not super big on having lots of snacks all the time, but I've been slowly eating the majority of what mom sent me. So yeah, some of that stuff is still packaged. These go into the fridge. These I'm not sure. I might need to get like a basket or something for my drawer. I'm gonna open this and you're gonna be like, what? Yeah, it's still messy. I think I need like a basket for all of these sorts of things. But I'm gonna take all this out, clean this out, and start stacking the containers in, and hopefully it'll just be a little more organized in here. I'm actually really happy with it. It's so much more organized than what I thought it was going to be. So I've got my 3 big containers at the back here. I've got 2 of the second tallest, 2 of the next, and then the 3 smaller ones. I have my rice paper rolls and my seaweed sheets at the back there. I've got the spices. I forgot to make a label for this one, so I'll have to do that. I've got 3 packets here, then cans and bottles over here. I'm not sure if you can see down there, but in the bottom drawer, I have like tea towels and some linen and things. But I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't have some of the extra stuff I have, like all my shapes boxes. So we can just put these in here for now. That'll do. But yeah, pretty much everything is all organized and put away. So yay, organization. I made a few changes. I ended up grabbing one of the taller, like the second tallest ones, and I threw some of my Australian snacks that are still packaged but open in there, and I put the hemp seeds on top of it. Got all my tiny teddies down here, and I think that's pretty well organized. And And I thought I would share real quick the rest of my organization. So I've put my salt and pepper grinders up here, which I think they act as like a really nice piece of decor. I love these two shelves in my kitchen. I have taken this little one out of the pot though, because it was too wet and I needed to let it dry up a little bit, but I can't wait till this starts growing and hanging down even further. And then I have these 3 spices here, which I think look really, really nice. And I use the chili flakes literally like every day. So that's part of my pantry up there. And then over here, I have attempted to create somewhat of a coffee station. It's still a work in progress, but at the back here, I just have this box that it's got tea in it. It's got 2 kinds of tea in there, and I would like to get a container for that. And then up here in this container, I have all of my coffee pods, and I guess that's a little bit more of my pantry. Okay, I'm pretty much done. This is definitely one of those things that I was explaining in one of my other videos. It takes me time to figure out how I want things to finally look, and I never really get it the first day. So now that I can see how the drawer is organized, I can think about it a little bit, maybe change things up when I get like a spark of inspiration around it. It's just my method of like organizing and styling things, it takes time. I need time to think about it and like process it. So I will probably be done maybe next week when I've had a little bit more time to think about it. I still think I'm gonna use the drawer instead of using the cupboard, but if I change my mind, at least all of the containers have labels on the front of them so that can go into the cupboard. I am going to do the smaller little decals tomorrow, just because they're a little more intricate, as I said, and I just wanted to do it at another time, give myself a little bit of a creative reset before I jump in and do those. Now I'm thinking about it, I don't think the tops of those containers are really that practical. I should have found containers that just had like a flat top, but anyway, it's fine. It just feels so much more organized in the drawer now, which is great, easier to find things. Very happy about it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.